Today is the day, everyone. The best deal in Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes for pay to play or free to play just got a lot better, but for a limited time only. And today we're going to be talking about how you can take the most advantage of it and have the biggest bang for your buck. So what are we referring to? We're referring to the fact that here in a couple of days, we are going to have double drops for all of our energy except Conquest, which doesn't really matter. So your fleets, our mod, our Cantina, and our normal energy are all going to have double the value, assuming things actually drop for us. And it's worth noting, the more energy we can have for this, the more likely we're going to have a good return on RNG. So it is important that I mention before we even go really far into the video and how we can plan for this and how we can prep and get the most bang for our buck here. Energy refreshes are the best value in the game 9 times out of 10. You can see this is the end of the day for April 29th. This is the day I'm playing. I have already done all 3 of the free refreshes, not free refreshes, but the 3 50 or 100 crystal refreshes for these 4 different types of energy, because there is really no better deal. There are a few pieces of gear every now and then that'll actually have slightly better rates, but they're far in the minority as far as that goes. So what is happening now? Like, why is this suddenly relevant? Why are we talking about this? Well, because on May the 4th, we will be getting double drops on all those areas for quite a few days for May 4th, 5th, 6th, and through the 7th. So a lot of really good value. And while that's really cool up front, there's actually a bigger way that we can be taking advantage of it that actually starts tomorrow. So if you're watching this, hopefully on April 30th or maybe May 1st, you can take advantage of this in a really cool way by hoarding your energy. And I've seen some spreadsheets out there. This one is mine in particular, and I wanted to break down for everyone exactly why this is important, what you should be doing if you're trying to do it on a budget, how soon you should start, and therefore. But so the way we have this broken down, we have our 4 different types of energy here: normal, fleet, mod, and cantina. And then this is the amount of energy that we're going to be trying to hoard. We're going to be trying to bank. What do we mean by hoard? Instead of you spending any of your energy for that day, you are going to max out the 3 first refreshes. So the 50s for most of the energy, and then the 100s for Cantina. And then you're just going to let it sit there. You're not going to spend it. That's what we mean by hoard. And I realized that at a glance, this actually seems bad, because when you leave it at max, you're not gaining the free energy that you would gain from it just sitting there over time. However, that's not necessarily true. So if we look at how we have this organized here, you're gaining 495 normal energy through 3 refreshes and then gaining the free energy of the day, and then 405 for the other 3. The amount that you're actually losing by it sitting there and not going anywhere because of the wait time, because that maxed, you're only losing a much smaller fraction. You're only losing about 240 energy, because this 495 is going to double in value the second that we cross over into May 4th, and you get to spend it at a twice rate. So we're losing this amount here, but we're really gaining this amount. And the reason why I don't have it figured as doubled is because you would have been able to use half of it here anyways. So this is our loss, this is our gain, and this is the amount of energy we're actually netting by being able to use it afterwards. This gives it at a really good crystal value, especially for Cantina. Cantina is a very expensive energy, so being able to get it into much higher quantities is very useful. You can see here that the 165 extra energy that we're gonna have for mod stuff has an equivalent of 137 crystals, which is great. Like that's great value. But 475 is even higher. So this is kind of the first point I want to touch on. If you are not in Kyber, if you're in Romium or Chromium, and you just don't have a lot of crystals, you don't have a lot hoarded for whatever reason, and you can only do this with one type of energy, do it with Cantina. That is the one to do it with. That is the one that you want to have primed and ready to go, because it just has the highest value. And between a lot of the new characters going to Cantina and all of Signal Data still wanting to come out of Cantina at the same time, it's an energy that we pretty much all need. So it is the most important, is the one that we need to focus on. The next would be normal energy. You want to be focusing a lot on that, just because it has a lot of really good value, because we can build it up to such a high amount, as well as we can build it at a larger rate than the rest of the other 2 energies because of the amount we're getting for free. And one thing I do want to clear up, because I did not fully understand this until, breaking down and making this video. This is worth not farming characters for 4 days. Because my big predicament with this, one of the reasons why I was originally looking at this and I was like, I'm going to do all the energy, but I'm not going to do the normal energy because I'm still farming Zori, Tuscan Chieftain, 000, and BT1. And I'm just like, all right, so I get that I can make more crystals, or I can get more energy if I do it this way, but then I'm losing out on farming these for days. The issue with that is, if you go into these, and even if I refresh every single one of these characters one time throughout double drops all the way through, I'm actually going to be making a lot more crystals if I hoard and do that to make up for the lost time. So instead of farming them for example, I guess tomorrow, April 30th, and I leave it be, I can make up for that by buying this 25 crystal refresh during May the 4th celebration each day, and I can actually make more over that time, because if we look at our fancy number here, the amount of crystals that we're saving per day by doing this method is 212. So if I have 4 characters that I'm wanting to refresh during the period to make up for it, that is 100 crystals, because it's 25 for each of them. I would have to farm 9 characters for this hoarding method to be bad value, because I'm currently farming characters. So that's a big deal to me, because really nobody out there should be farming 9 characters from hard nodes alone. If you are, you're going past the 50 crystal refresh rate, which is probably also just bad value. So I really encourage, if you have the crystals, this is awesome. Definitely do Cantina. Next one is for energy, or for the normal energy, and then also fleet and mod. It is, I guess, somewhat important if you have a lot of fleet energy nodes that you're trying to get for hard nodes that you're trying to farm ships on. The same method applies here, but these are just really not that big of a deal because they don't have limits to how many times you can farm per day, so you can do it as many times as you want. So again, Cantina is the big deal. So the other question is, when do we need to start hoarding and why? So I'm going to show you guys what your goals need to be, or at least what my goals are going to be. The cap for energy, it does have a cap, otherwise we should have been doing this for a very long time, is 1,999 for normal energy, which means you want to have your last refresh be spent at 1,998, and then it's 998 for the other 3 types of energy. So basically, at the end of every single day that we're playing right now, and this date's wrong, actually. Let's go ahead and change that. I'm sure Hoard, is that actually a word? No, it's not. All right, we're just going to stick with it for now. And that also messed up my color scheme. We're going to ignore that. So we need to start hoarding our normal energy on April 30th. And this is where you want it to be at the very end of the day. So get it set up right so that you're gaining your bonus energy and your 3 crystal refreshes after it's already hit whatever number it needs to hit to be able to hit 633. That's going to depend on the person, where your time is, when your bonuses comes in. That is the place that you need to end the day at. It's worth noting that on April 30th, that's the only energy you need to do that with, because the cap for normal energy is so much higher. And then on May the 1st, you're going to want to try to end the day with 1,128 crystals, which by now it should be really easy. Because if you did the first day correctly, there's only so much energy that can be added up into May the 1st. You're no longer going to be doing things based off of the way you're playing the time, but you're just going to be doing your 3 crystal refreshes and then also claiming your free stuff throughout the day. The other energies, we do need to start hoarding them, but you're going to want to spend them just a little bit during the day, because if you don't start spending them during the day just a little bit, you're going to end up going over the cap, and you're going to not be able to use all of your refreshes on May 3rd, and it's going to be bad value. You're going to be wasting those 50s that have the best value in the entire game. We want to land at 308, whatever you need to do to make that happen on May 1st. When you go to bed, this is what the number needs to be for these energies across the board. On May 2nd, you're going to continue the same pattern. Just hoard, 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 hoard. All 3 of these. May 3rd, you need everything to be maxed by the end of May 3rd, so that when you wake up on May the 4th and double drops have hit, or actually it's probably, yeah, whenever your reset is, that was probably important to say. Whenever your reset is, you get up, or you make over that crossover, you can just spend all 2,000 or 1,000 of that energy right out the gate, and then you can start doing more refreshes during double drops to your heart's content. That's really not what that part's really not what this video is about. But really, this is where we want to try to end up being. So again, just recapping really quickly, this is Crystal refreshes have always been the best value for the game as a whole. They are what is going to bring you the farthest if you're trying to build a roster, really regardless of where you are. I've been doing this since I was 1 million GP, or probably even before, and I'm still doing it now at nearly 10. It just pertains to be the best value. So taking advantage of it in double drops is really important. You are going to be getting, I realize that we are going to be losing a certain amount of crystals or a certain amount of energy by the fact that we're not letting it naturally accrue through the day because we have it locked. But the amount that we're going to be able to use within double drops, so we'll have double the value, is so much higher that there is a really large gain throughout all of this. So there's a really large net throughout all of this. It is even worth it if you're farming characters really up to 9, which again, nobody should be doing 9 at this point. And if you don't have all the crystals in the world to really be doing crystal refreshes every day to begin with, Cantina, do as many as you can in Cantina, because it is going to translate to the highest value just because they are the most expensive. So when you work out how much they're actually end up being worth at the end of the day, it is going to be a lot higher. After that, normal energy, and then fleet and mod to follow up. And then, yeah, these are the numbers. If you just want to take a screenshot of this page and then keep this and confirm at the end of every day, what does your normal energy look like? What does your Cantina energy look like? What does your mod energy look like? Confirming so that you're perfectly set up so that when May the 4th rolls around, you can just go crazy and get like 200 Kairos or something like that. But that is going to be it for this video. Thank you guys for watching. And as always, stay awesome.